Imagine this. You ray digging in frozen English soil, your shovel hits metal. You pull out a bronze object, fist-sized, 12 pentagonal faces. Each face has a hole, different diameter on every side, tiny balls at every corner. You hold it in your hand, delicate, eerily complex. You've just found a Roman dodecahedron. Now picture being the 130th person to find one. From England to Hungary, France to Germany, these artifacts are scattered across the entire continent. Dated 2nd to 4th centuries, Ed. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night. In 200 years of excavations and research, we haven't found a single mention of them. Not one line in Roman texts, not a single image on a fresco, not one entry in the empire's military archives. The Romans described everything: siege engines, fish sauce recipes. But on this subject, dead silence. So what is it? A tool, a weapon, a ritual key. And why did the civilization that gave us law, roads, and aqueducts decide to hide its purpose from us? Let us lay out the facts we have. The Roman dodecahedron is a hollow bronze object. It has 12 flat faces, each of which is a regular pentagon. In the center of each face is a circular hole, and here is the most important detail. All the holes on a single object have different diameters. A small bronze ball is located at each of the 20 corners. The size of the artifacts ranges from 4 to 11 centimeters in diameter. They fit in the palm of your hand, but some are quite massive. To date, about 130 such objects have been found. The geography of the finds is impressive. Britain, Gaul, Germany, the Danube provinces, all the way to Pannonia, modern-day Hungary. This encompasses the entire northern and western periphery of the Roman Empire. And here is the first ominous sign for the detective. Not a single dodecahedron has been found in Italy. Not one in Rome, not one in Pompeii or Herculaneum. The center of the empire is silent. The artifacts are concentrated on the borders, in the provinces where the legions were stationed. Now, regarding the dating, all the specimens found date to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th centuries CE. This is the empire's golden age, the time of Hadrian, Marcus Aurelius, and Diocletian. A time when Roman bureaucracy reached its zenith. Every legion kept meticulous records. We know the names of the centurions. We know the grain ration standards. We know the prices of prostitutes in Pompeii. We have Vitruvius's treatises on architecture, Pliny the Elder's natural history, Vegetius's military manuals. Thousands of pages of text, but the word dodecahedron does not appear anywhere. Not in a single papyrus, not in a single inscription. And this is where I get stuck. The silence is unprecedented. By comparison, the Romans described the astrolabe, described the Antikythera mechanism, described water clocks and odometers. They recorded everything. But an object made of expensive bronze, requiring the most complex casting using lost wax models, an object that spread throughout Europe, is not mentioned even once. Either its purpose was so obvious to every Roman that no explanation was needed, or its purpose was so secret that it was forbidden to write it down. There is no third option, and it is in this gap between the obvious and the secret that the main mystery we must unravel lies hidden. Let us approach the artifact like forensic engineers. What does the object itself reveal about itself through its design? First, the manufacturing technique. The Roman dodecahedron was cast in bronze using the lost wax method. This is not crude hand forging. It is the work of a professional foundryman familiar with the compass and proportion, creating a wax mold from 12 regular pentagons, maintaining precise angles of 108 degrees. And then drilling holes so that they converge at the hollow center is a task requiring geometric skills. A single error in the markings, and the mold would collapse when the metal was poured. The quality of the casting suggests standardized production, possibly in several workshops. Second is the function of the holes. This is the key. The holes of varying diameters are not random. They are not decorative. On every specimen, the holes are carefully finished, the edges smoothed. This means that something was passed through them. There is a practical experiment. If you take a dodecahedron and pass a wooden rod through the holes, you can calibrate its thickness. Some researchers suggest that this was a tool used by Roman engineers to standardize pipes or projectiles for ballistae. But here is the problem. Why 12 faces and 20 balls? A single plate with a row of holes would have been sufficient for calibration. Third, the balls at the corners. They prevent the object from lying flat on a single face. It always rests on the balls, raised above the surface. Why? If this is a measuring instrument, the balls reduce the contact area and prevent dirt from clogging the holes. If this is an astronomical instrument, the balls can serve as sighting devices for determining the angles of celestial bodies. Some researchers have noticed a curious pattern. The sizes of the holes on some specimens correlate with the angular diameters of the sun and moon as observed from different points across the empire. Perhaps the dodecahedron was used to calculate the dates of the equinoxes. And finally, the most down-to-earth but enduring Theria knitting tool. In the 20th century, experimenters demonstrated that by threading yarn through the dodecahedron as holes and wrapping it around the beads, one can knit glove fingers of a perfect cylindrical shape. The method works, but the counter-argument is ironclad. Not a single fragment of a Roman knitted glove has been found. The Romans did not know knitting as we understand it. And here is the detail that kills it for me. No signs of wear from the constant friction of wool against bronze have been found on most artifacts. Most dodecahedrons look as if they were placed in the ground almost brand new. So, engineering analysis leaves us with a contradiction. The object is clearly functional, the holes serve a practical purpose. But the absence of wear and tear suggests that it was used either extremely rarely or not for the purpose of rubbing against anything. What if it is not a tool, but a key, or a symbol of power, or a device for a ritual performed once a year? The Romans' mathematics and metallurgy are impeccable, but their silence nullifies any engineering hypotheses. So, we've examined the object from every angle. Now, here are 3 theories explaining its purpose and Rome's silence. Theory A, the skeptical view. The dodecahedron was a common measuring instrument, so widespread that it never occurred to anyone to describe it. The Romans didn't write instructions for a hammer or a wheel. Why would they write them for a calibrator? The holes of different diameters were used to check the thickness of shafts for arrows, spears, or water pipes. The balls at the corners simply lifted the device off the dirty ground. The lack of fines in Italy is explained by the fact that more sophisticated tools were used in the heart of the empire, while the dodecahedron was the lot of the northern provinces. There are no signs of wear because bronze is harder than wood. Calibration left no scratches. The silence of the sources is not a mystery, but a statistical coincidence. Not everything the Romans used made it into the texts. Version B, alternative theory, a secret military device or a symbol of power. This version draws attention to the geography of the finds. All dodecahedrons were found along the empire's borders where the legions were stationed. Perhaps it was a device for calculating the distance to a target or the trajectory of projectiles. The balls at the corners could have been used as sighting devices for triangulation. The complex 12-sided shape made the device unique, protected from being copied by barbarians. And the lack of records is explained by military secrecy. The Romans knew how to keep secrets. The technology for producing Greek fire or the composition of purple dye were also not recorded in open sources. The Dodecahedron could have been the key to classified engineering knowledge, and every owner of such an object was a high-ranking military specialist. Weak points of this theory. First, the Romans did describe military machines. Vitruvius' treatise is full of diagrams of ballistas and catapults. Second, why would a military device need 20 decorative spheres and such complex geometry? 3 points would have been enough for triangulation, not 20. This is where the whole thing falls apart for me. End of alternative theory. Version C, balanced. This is the one I lean toward. The dodecahedron was a ritual object associated with the calendar or astronomy, and its purpose was known only to a limited circle of priests or engineers. The holes of different diameters corresponded to various celestial bodies or seasons. The balls at the corners symbolized stars. The 12 faces represented the 12 months or the 12 signs of the zodiac, well known to the Romans. The object was not carried daily. It was taken out once a year to calculate the date of sowing, harvest, or a religious holiday. This explains the absence of signs of wear. And here is what I find most compelling. The silence of the sources is a consequence of the oral tradition of transmitting sacred knowledge. The priests did not entrust to papyrus what was passed down from teacher to student. The dodecahedron was not merely an object. It was a material key to the celestial order. Science has not yet reached a conclusion, but each new find slowly reveals what we once thought was lost forever. Every year, archaeologists pull new artifacts out of the ground. Just recently, in 2023, another dodecahedron turned up in England, Lincolnshire County. 2nd century layer, sitting among the pottery of a Roman villa. Perfectly preserved, not a single scratch on it, and once again, not one clue about what it was actually for. But sooner or later, luck is gonna break our way. Maybe in some unexcavated Mithras temple along the Rhine, or in a buried cave in Britain, there is an engraved dodecahedron just waiting. One short line in Latin, one word, one letter that finally ties the 12 faces to a text, and the text to its function. And that mystery that has been driving us nuts for 2 centuries. Gone. Dust in a second, or, flip side, we find something that opens up a whole new can of questions. So picture this, you Ray holding that bronze thing in your hand. You've got a workshop, tools, and a month to screw around with it. Which theory are you testing first? What are you putting through those holes? Starlight, running water, or a strand of wool?